Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Markeia McCarty, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I believe.
Oh, believe.
I
all believe.
I believe in Main Event. I believe in AfterBuzz. I believe in big beards. I believe in big hair. And I believe in big sass.
Yeah.
I believe in it all. It is WWE Main Event AfterBuzz. I am Scott Narver. Tom the Com Connolly got a little out of hand, a little agitated. He's just mad about Cena, so he had to cool off for a little bit in order to remain calm. So I'm stepping in those shoes today.
Yeah, you should have seen Scott RKO him. That was
lanky.
Yeah.
It was really lanky.
Really lanky.
Yeah, it took a long time to actually fully execute the move. But it eventually happened, and Tom is taking a leave of absence for this week, and he'll be back next week. But across the way, back from the 50th state of the United States of America, Hawaii, is Markeia McCarty.
Hey guys, I loved it. I want to go back really, really soon, like next week.
I don't blame you.
Which island?
Oahu.
Oh.
Yeah, that's where Honolulu is. It's fantastic. Paddleboarding, a lot of Mai Tais.
Okay.
Ooh, yummy.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And then sitting across from
Coming
her.
back from nowhere exciting, just my apartment in Hollywood.
That's right.
Gabrielle Loren, what's up, guys?
All the lore is taken away from your exciting life that you just did apparently nothing. You could have done anything.
I mean, I did a little shopping for Halloween today, I have to say.
Oh, what's your costume gonna be?
I didn't do costume shopping, I did house decorating shopping.
And candy shopping?
And candy shopping's next.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna be good all October so I can eat as much candy as I want.
That is
Bowls of
the
it.
mindset of a child.
Exactly.
That works. So it's like, yeah, if I don't eat any of it, then I can eat all of it in one night, right?
Yeah, right.
Which is wonderful. It's the mindset we need.
I agree. And I'll bring some in to share. How about
Really?
that?
Okay.
What are you going to get? What candy?
Well, I love Kit Kats. I'm obsessed with Musketeers. I used to like Reese's until I saw a nasty Facebook video. I won't even go into detail.
Please don't, because I
gross.
love Reese's.
Yeah, it was nasty. I think we might have had this conversation before, deja vu. What else? Lollipops are good. The Tootsie Roll ones are my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all my tops.
Oh, tops. Chocolate,
Yeah.
an American thing. Such a great
M&Ms.
thing. Halloween, American, and real Americans.
Nice
Former
segue.
real Americans. We
Yes.
start off Main Event with Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter versus Cesaro. And we got talking heads before this, explaining the feud that we were going to have, explaining all the background of what it was, why this is being rekindled. Zeb Coulter talking about why he wants Cesaro deported, and then Cesaro starting off with a joke, saying, what is the difference between a battery and the real Americans? At least a battery has a positive side. So the feud is then rekindled. Jokes are not welcome in wrestling.
He's Swiss. What are you gonna do?
He should be neutral, but he's not.
No.
He's aggressive. So we have a match between Jack Swagger and Cesaro, and things are off to the races. So there's a "We the People" chant right from the get-go. There's headlocks, there's swagger bombs, there's hip tosses, there's big boots, a lot of kickouts, a lot of big action, double axe handles. It's a 2-segment match, so we get a lot going on here. And then eventually we are left with the thumb to the eye by Swagger, or to Swagger, I'm sorry, by Cesaro, and then just gets a big uppercut on him and gets the pin.
That happened.
And I guess Swagger was so disrupted by the thumb to the eye, couldn't even kick out. And then we had a winner of Cesaro.
And that was real, my friends.
Yeah, that eye was swollen.
Yeah,
You
it
saw
was.
that afterwards?
He got him.
Yeah, he did. He
It
wasn't
got
holding back.
progressively worse.
It did. This was my favorite match of the night. I'll say it straight off.
Sure.
I loved it. And I think former tag team partners should always be pitted against each other. Because you could tell, like, from the outset, they were like, I know what you've got, man. I know what you've got. And it was just, like, down and, like, grappling. It was like what's a Roman Grecan wrestling? Like a little bit of that.
Greco-Roman.
Greco-Roman, thank you. Switch that. It was just, it was intense, and already they started having marks on each other, and I was enthralled. Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
Well, as these commentators said, both of these athletes are kind of on the same level. So I understand why this fight got so intense and someone wound up with a busted up eye. But, I mean, all in all, when it's real, it works for us.
Yeah, it's really real.
It's really, exactly.
Yeah, they went at it. They were trying to, I mean, I agree with what you said, that it was my favorite match of the night as well. It's a real close second to something coming up, but they really went at it, and they are at that mid-level. They don't seem to be able to still break through that glass ceiling where they are from the tag team that they were in. So this was them really beating the heck out of each other. And that thumb to the eye.
Oof.
They don't do that often, but it really, really worked. Not just that he actually put his thumb in his eye, but it really meant something when he did it. Like, it was really effective because they don't do that too often.
Right, and I think it had a lot to do with their history, their background with each other. I mean, even when they first started, for me personally, I felt like there was a certain amount of respect that was in that ring, where it's like, I respect the level of what you can do. I know what you can do, and I'm still going to beat you. This is still going to happen. Because it's like they're trying to be contenders for the Intercontinental, right? Yeah. So they were throwing their weight around, and I enjoyed every second of it. The only thing I didn't really... I guess this is a new thing that Cesaro's doing, either that or I blanked it out because I really enjoy his body. Was he started
Good observation.
he started doing this move when he climbed on the top ropes, and then it'd be like like he was loading a shotgun with his arms or something.
That's been his thing for a while that he was doing, and then it kind of went away since he had the robe and the towel. Like, but that's sort of his signature. I'm about
to lock and load on you.
Yeah, lock and load. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I didn't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
So you don't like that? You don't like Titus O'Neil with the hands up and the barking?
Yeah.
So whose taunt do you like?
I like Kofi's, if you can call it a taunt, because it gets everybody in it, and it's like, and then plus as part of his intro. So I just think that's really connected, and I like that.
You like a call and response?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's really good.
All right.
That was the first one that I thought of. I'm sure someone else has one. I'll think of it later.
Sure. So, star rating. Gabby, what did you think of this match?
I really enjoyed this match. This actually came second for me.
Okay.
The first was the next one coming up we'll be talking about. But they both had a lot of heat tonight in the ring, which I really appreciated. And it was nice to hear that Cesaro goes to the Performance Center often, because I know we've talked about on the show how certain divas are incapable of practicing because they are on the road and shooting, et cetera, et cetera. So it's cool that Cesaro lives so local and has the time to actually practice often. And they say, his practice time is almost like a warm-up for somebody else, which I was really impressed by. But clearly it shows in the ring. There was a point where Swagger sent Cesaro flying off the top ropes. I think he grabbed him with one arm and threw him. That was really, really impressive. He landed on the side of his arm / shoulder. Looked like it hurt a little bit, but he got up and acted like no big deal. And also, there was a part in the match where Cesaro dropped to his knees to kind of throw Swagger off. And remember that one episode where I was talking about how if you spread your legs real far, it's hard to pick the person up and throw them over you? Well, this is that same situation. He got on his knees to throw off his opponent. Cesaro dropped to his knees to throw off Swagger so that he wasn't able to kind of grab him and get him into the position to kind of take over and throw him over as well. So again, smart tactic, impressive. And then also when Swagger kicked Cesaro's ankle and put Cesaro in a Patriot lock, it was nice and smooth. And the way he finished, I think, was really nice. The only thing about the thumb poke I find different than Markeia's opinion is that I don't think there was respect in the ring. I think they threw the respect out, because why would they bring in a thumb poke to the eye if they had respect for each other?
Do you think it started there and then he was frustrated that he couldn't beat him, so then the thumb poke?
Yeah, I
came
think
into
it's
play?
just they're relentless, and even if the WWE says, this person's designated to win this match, they still want to look good for the audience. So I think they're going to bring their A game and maybe go a little too far with it, because they're men. They have big egos, right? So maybe because one's kind of making the other look stupid, they feel bad and have to get them back in revenge. I feel like that's what's really going on with the egos in the ring.
I'm glad they stayed away from the groin. That's all I got to say as a fellow guy.
Yeah.
Go for the eye.
Yeah,
Leave
and
the
they don't
groin
wear
alone.
protective gear in wrestling, right?
I think there's a little something there. I don't know how much
like
you can...
sometimes you see them with knee things, or every
The
now and
knee,
again
but
they
what
have
in
like
that
I think,
area?
I think
Oh,
Gabby's
down.
talking.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Oh.
the ish.
I would assume they would, know enough to wear protection down there, like something flexible but not too flexible.
Sure.
There's no way
Like
they're
Tupperware?
just...
Yeah, I guess she's got to be right, because it doesn't
There's
really
no
move
way.
too much, right?
Yeah, it's
Very
and it might
observant.
have like a double adhesive tape too to keep those little spandex.
Goodness gracious.
Just tape it all down.
If someone knows the answer to this, please comment on our YouTube and iTunes
Yeah.
page.
It's like,
Gabby, where can
do
they
they-
send you pictures? On Instagram?
To my Instagram, you can tag me at GabbyLow87, and I will look at all of them. But my score is 4.5 for that
Whoa.
match. It was high up for me.
Okay. Markeia, how about you?
Yeah, like I said, this is my favorite match of the night. I was pretty impressed with Swagger in this match. Something that I'm wondering about is, like, with Swagger, it kind of seems like they're trying to find a good enemy for him, like a good rival. Like, they had him against Rusev, and of course that worked because, Americans versus Russians, but there's only so much that you can get out of that until you need another layer on it. So it looked like they, started bouncing him around a little bit, and then, of course, pit him against his former tag team partner. They're both going for the Intercontinental. That makes perfect sense. You can have a lot of layers going on with that. Something that I really enjoyed about Swagger is that, yes, they were doing a lot of submission holds and, throwing their weight around, but I did not see him do what he has done in past matches, which is practically immediately going for the Patriot Lock. And I like that, because then I could enjoy what he was doing, as opposed to, here we go, he's just trying to end it. All right, and the guy grabbed the rope. All right, great. So it's kind of like with how Gabby was saying the respect went out of the ring. I'm of the feeling that the respect then went higher, like to a higher level. So then it's like, okay, I'm not going to beat Cesaro, doing all of the stuff. All right, Patriot Lock time, let's do this. And then, like, Cesaro, he's like, whoa, okay, he almost got me. I had to touch the rope, like, what was it, 3 times?
Well, yeah, he got him, and then he pulled him away from the rope, and then he got the other rope, and then he pulled him away again.
Exactly. So then that got to the point, what I feel, that got to the point for him where he was like, I need to pull out my dirty toolkit, because that's the only way. I can't stand.
Which is what keeps him protected at the same time, mind you.
So that's where that thumb in the eye and then that uppercut, and then he just scrambles over him. He's like, we've got to end this now because I can't get up.
It's a great way to describe it, a dirty toolkit. I like it.
Yeah, but I gave it the same rating, actually. It was a 4.5 for me.
Whoa.
I enjoyed it. I like the history, and I hope that they do more with this. I want to see more from the two of them. I want to see more layers happen.
I agree. I think it was a great match to kick off the show. I like it when they change things up, that this main event just started. This just started with the match. They gave you some talking heads. It wasn't a full in-ring segment with Zeb coming out there, they're talking, and then I'm going to challenge you at the end of the show. Like, just switch it up. It feels fun and fresh, and it was really great. They really went at it with each other, and I really enjoyed it, so I gave it 18 eye patches. Then we go backstage, and we see Kane, and then Natalya has a quick question for him, and Tyson Kidd is there, who we've seen on NXT. He's been showing up in those shows in big-time matches, but not so much in the main roster of the WWE, with this newer character that he has, where he's on his cell phone all the time. He's always listening to his headphones. He's just kind of this cool guy who's checked out and not really paying attention to Natalya all the time.
Yeah,
he's kind of a
punk kid.
jerk. Yeah,
He was a punk kid. Yeah.
Which I think is very fitting for him. I think he does it quite well. I don't know, is it on Total Divas that he's doing this?
Well, yeah, I was going
well?
to comment on that, but before that, does Natalya join him in the ring in NXT as a part of the, character?
Yes, so like they are together, and sometimes she's there in his corner, and sometimes he's just out there.
Okay, so on Total Divas, funny we bring this up because on Monday when I was on Total Divas AfterBuzz recap, I had mentioned the same thing that, I wonder if they will bring the storyline of TJ and Natty into the live shows, which it looks like they are, because they're having a lot of issues at home in real life. Because he isn't really attentive to her, forgets her birthday and anniversary, and then eventually buys her a gift, but it's more for him, and he's very selfish on the show. And, anytime there's an issue, Natty runs, and he kind of is stubborn and won't call her until they both agree to meet up, and talk it out. But they're very... I don't know, it's very tumultuous right now. So it's kind of funny that on this episode of Main Event, the same week, we see... the TJ Natty dynamic of them really not, having each other's back and stuff. She's there for him, but then he doesn't really care, which is the same way it is on Total Divas for the most part.
How in the world did he convince her to marry him?
Well, they've been together for 12 years. Can you believe that?
And they've known each other since kids.
Oh, man. It's like a frog. And was it a frog and water and on the stove? I'm butchering this.
Oh, God.
When you put a frog in water.
I love Tommy Boy. What's going on?
Oh, man. Nice. Yeah, it's this whole thing where you put
like
frog in a water.
Point or something?
No, you put frog in, this is a really long thing now. You put a frog in a pot with water. You put on the stove. The frog will stay in that water as you gradually turn it up, and it will boil alive. That's like a real scientific thing. While if you put the water up to a boiling point and tossed a frog in, it would jump right back out.
Oh, I see.
That's what it is frog and gradually boiling water. She's been in it for so long. Yeah. No, Natalya.
It's lost on me.
Great analogy.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
After I eventually got it out.
It was a cool build-up. Well, this frog goes up to the fire that is Kane, who's always boiling, and says, "Can Tyson Kidd have a match?" And Tyson gets upset, saying, I can ask for my own things, which he hasn't done in months now.
That is so ridiculous. It is. I'm sorry. I got a little heated.
Oh,
yeah.
Like a frog.
Oh, man. I should have never. No, but it was like, here is somebody doing a favor for you, getting you into the room, so to speak, and then you're gonna show your butt in front of the boss and totally throw that back into the other person's face. How self-destructive could somebody be?
I'm just wondering if this is a prelude to their story of being a divorce in real life, because there was a spoiler alert that they were going to be separated on Total Divas.
Whoa.
Yeah. So... But are they cool enough to be working together and make it seem like they hate each other also? Or do they even have to act? You know what I mean? It's it's ironic and...
Well, I really like that it's playing out at the same time.
At the same time.
That it's not separated like how it sounded the show was before. That something would happen on Total Divas and then maybe it didn't happen on live WWE TV. Like, they're really matching it up now.
I think more recently it is matching up, because even with the Bella story, the twins on the Total Diva reality show are arguing now, and Bree's becoming a biatch, and on the WWE live shows they're having issues also. So it seems like this season a lot of things are lining up.
Well, that's really cool. I think it plays out better that way. And then... So as they're arguing with one another, Kane then tells them, he interrupts them and says Tyson Kidd will be in the next match, and then Kane has a moment where he says, "Reality television stars." Ugh. And he's disgusted. And then we have a recap of Hulk Hogan and the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Awareness Program that was on Raw. Really nice sentimental moment from Raw with all those cancer survivors there in attendance. Really excited to be there. And it was a neat shakeup of, normally it's Cena being the poster boy for it all, but now Hulk Hogan this year is sort of championing the cause and out there and speaking on behalf of the cause. And of course got new gear at WWE Shop that you can go and buy and wear all the pink and bring the awareness and have cool new gear that's just around for a little while and help support the cause. So it was a really nice segment. It's really great that they do that with Susan G. Komen every year.
Agreed.
Yeah. I like that they had the Hulkster doing it, because that brings together generations of wrestlers. You know, not only just the new kids or just the old kids, big kids, little kids, you know, all of them together. So that was really sweet.
And you don't want a guy like Tom in Chicago booing John Cena, who's out there trying to support it, but he hates Cena so much.
Oh, he hates Cena so much
that he wouldn't support the cause. Instead, it's Hulk Hogan, so it's fine.
Yeah.
And Tom remains calm. So he can be a hothead. He can be like a frog, I tell you.
Stop.
I'm just playing up my ignorance. That's all I'm doing. And then we have Tyson Kidd with Natalya in his corner, mostly, versus Kofi Kingston. And this is a really cool match. This is a match where we're not seeing a lot from both guys. We're seeing Tyson Kidd on NXT, but now we get to see him on Main Event. It's a nice little story that we got right before this, that Natalya had to ask for him, so then he's upset at her during the match and asking for her help, and Kofi Kingston's out there. Still not that faction with Xavier Woods and Big E coming to fruition.
Yeah.
So instead, these two guys who are incredibly athletic get to go at it. A lot of really great stuff that happens. It wasn't a very long match, which was the one disappointing part about it that I'd say. But there's a lot of moments that the story plays out between Tyson Kidd and Natalya, asking her for her help. She's not giving it to him. He puts her in front of her, so Kofi doesn't hit him.
Oh my goodness.
And then she does try and help, and so just
Literally.
Yeah.
nothing plays out at any correct moment for them. And then Tyson Kidd ends up putting Kofi Kingston in the sharpshooter and getting a submission win, which I found kind of shocking. I thought it wasn't going to work out for him. I thought Kofi was going to get the win and he was going to be more upset.
Yeah.
But instead, Tyson Kidd got the win. So what do you guys think?
Well, it was an interesting twist to have him win for me, because I kind of saw it as, you know, you have this this kid, you know, acting like a child, although he's supposed to be a grown man, and using, you know, his spouse as a shield to not get a well-deserved kick to the head or midriff or whatever. And for him to win, he's just going to be worse. It's just going to get even worse. And then the fact of him winning with Natalya's, you know, submission move, and he's probably going to keep on using that. It was so interesting because I was so disgusted at him. So that made it interesting. I really didn't want him to win. I really didn't, even though he was going up against Kofi, and we know the track record when they put Kofi against somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kofi did get that win before, so.
True.
Yeah, so at least he has that. But it was a great match. I really didn't want him to win.
Is it because you don't like him and how he's treating Natalya?
It's because I don't like him. Yeah.
Right.
I think, but they might have grabbed onto a really good heel character there, because it's making me care. I'm getting passionate about it, so.
Yeah, I think it really fits him. Like, he really does come across as a jerk. Like, you really want to see him get his face beaten. And I know you've watched him that much more in Total Divas, so I don't know if it...
Yeah, I mean, the things he does piss me off, and I don't know how Natty's still married to him. Because for somebody to not even, you know, acknowledge the fact that you have a birthday and you've been with them so long, that's just sad. Because you really do not care about your significant other.
So what did he get her as a gift that was more for him?
It was an piece of exercise equipment that kind of shook, so you had to, like, keep your balance and stuff. But she was like, why would I want to lock myself in my office and stand on a machine that's going to make me jiggle? She's like, this is not my idea of a birthday gift. Give me anything, a towel, you know, flowers, whatever she said. Yeah, she actually said a towel.
Her bar is low.
Well, yeah, her bar is low, but then he brings her something that she really, you know, you'd think he'd know her by now after all these years.
I think he knows her very well. I think he's an emotional manipulator. He knows how to keep her on the keep her on the leash.
I guess so. They're so far deep in.
I'm really excited for how many
problem.
fans see Natalya and bring her a towel. Now, just because she wanted one, like, here, I got you a towel. Like, oh no, these are too many towels. I shouldn't have said that.
Most of the gifts that she mentioned she would have liked, above and beyond what he gave her. Her friends actually gave her in a surprise party that he did not show up for, by the way.
Ooh.
What was he doing?
I don't know. He just is. He doesn't care about her. That's what it comes down to. Oof. For Natalya, it's her career's first, I think, and it's the same. They have a very weird dynamic in their relationship. But I'll let you rate this because then I'm going to get heated into what I actually think about this match.
Well, in the celebration that like you said, that he wasn't there for, that he was celebrating and Natalya tried to come over and he ignored her and was just still celebrating. So Natalya got upset and left. So she probably has a very low star rating for him. But Markeia, what do you have?
Well, the actual match itself and the storyline of it, with like the development of this punk kid character, and then like his dynamic with Natalya, I almost wonder if he could do this without Natalya being there, because a lot of it has to do with how he reacts to her as opposed to him by himself. So I'm interested to see if this punk kid character can stand on its own 2 feet. As opposed to having to have someone to lean on. But the actual match itself between him and Kofi, I like the moves. I like the athleticism. I liked Kofi being a good sportsman and not taking down a bystander. So I ended up giving it a 3.75 for the match. And then just for the possibility of the future of this heel character, depending on what they can do with him, I raised it to a 4. So it struck a chord, and that's a good thing. It made me care. But I want him to get his just desserts so badly.
All right, time to get heated.
This is the only physically aggressive sport that has characters. And with that being said, if you were to be a fan of MMA or, boxing matches, you wouldn't necessarily judge a person and want someone to win based off of their persona. You want them to win because they're good in the ring, and that's it. It's just their skill, right? Here we have a different story. So with WWE, they confuse me a little bit. I want Tyson to win, but then I don't because his character draws me back. So it's a confusion thing going on. I think he's a great athlete and a great wrestler. I loved this match. Him and Kofi, I think, make great partners against each other because they're both very strong and they're almost on the same level. It gives a good match. But for me, it's like, who do I want, though? Because I really didn't respect the fact that, he was treating Natty like crap, for, lack of better words. And, even in the beginning, he was rude to her, pointing her out of the ring, telling her to leave. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It was just so rude. He was just like, get out, kind of.
I noticed when he set up Kofi and then dragged the ref away and then expected Natalya to do something to Kofi. It's Natalya, okay? It's not Nikki or even Brie. Yeah.
Oh, I say, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Natalya.
Right.
No,
I call her by her full name.
No, I thought you were saying like he messed up her name. So that was my misunderstanding. It's
No,
much like a
not at all.
metaphor.
But he expected her, because they're married, for her to dump her ideals and her values out the window and go do something to Kofi. And it's Kofi. He didn't do anything to her when he had the chance. So
nope, I 100% agree with you, Markeia. And then that last part that you both had mentioned about Tyson throwing Natalya in front of him, that is the weakest thing any man could ever do. Because men are supposed to protect the women. You don't throw them in front of you to shield yourself. It was
Unless
just so
she's Ronda
disrespectful.
Rousey. If she's Ronda Rousey, then totally throw her in front.
I mean,
she can protect you.
I don't know. For me, there's no hate there because I don't have... I thought you were going to say Vicky Guerrero or something.
Oh, no.
excuse me.
Stephanie McMahon would be okay with that.
Stephanie McMahon would throw a fist out when the person's flying towards them.
So, I mean, in this match, ultimately, I'm okay with Tyson Kidd winning because I still enjoy him and watching him. He had some really nice moves. But some of them I was questioning, like when he choked Kofi with the ropes. Looked a little too aggressive. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
He grabbed his heels. Tyson grabbed Kofi's heels, picked them up, and I think he ultimately rebounded with his neck getting almost cut by the ropes and choking him out. Which
it was pretty organic.
It just,
They're
yeah.
just like,
It's a dirty toolkit night.
yeah.
It was a dirty toolkit.
But does he
move.
have clean tools? Let's be honest.
So I guess this is his character. So I guess great character development. But if it's really who you are in person, in real life, I'm gonna pray that is not the case.
Then check yourself, man.
Check yourself.
You need to check yourself.
I agree. And I'm surprised both of them didn't get winded because it seemed like they were like Energizer bunnies in the ring. They kept going. There wasn't really moments of rest except when he tried to use Natalia as a human shield. So I was definitely into this match. Gave it a 4.9 because it was hella entertaining. Loved it. And I do not agree with the commentator with the I'm sure he'll take her out to dinner later because that never happens. We know this if you watch Divas.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it too. I really enjoyed Tyson Kidd's development. That, you know, he came in years ago. He was part of the Hart Dynasty with the son of the British Bulldog, and they did some stuff with those guys, but they didn't do a whole lot. And now, all these years later, they've really given him something to do. He's got a character. It's something that, you know, Kofi's been there for 7 years and he hasn't had anything like this. Yeah. This just shows that if you give somebody something that they can really run with, I think they can do it. These guys are talented. They're there for a reason, and Tyson Kidd is really hitting it out of the park. So I wish it had a little bit more time. That's my only gripe against this match, but otherwise I gave it 112 maple leaves. So then we had the Raw recap, which focuses on Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins with Mr. Money in the Bank, and then laying out Ambrose and Cena with curb stomps. And then it's just boiling to a point with all these guys, with Brock Lesnar not even being in the scene, that everybody's just upset at each other. So I don't know if a triple threat is in the mix. I don't know what's going to happen with all these guys, because I'm sure at some point soon Dean Ambrose and John Cena are going to get heated with one another.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how funny the clearance sale was?
It was really good.
Don't you wish you were at that,
I think everybody does.
That was Dean's great.
Some free merchandise.
Free merchandise, free bag.
That's a great way to gain some fans out there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed in the recap. My absolute favorite part of it was when Cena has Rollins, like in the corner, and he's winning. It's like, okay, great. Rollins is going to be taken down. Isn't that a good thing, Dean? Isn't that a good thing, Dean? Oh no, Dean's flipping out because someone else is taking down Rollins. And then he's on Cena so he can get to Rollins. I'm like, oh man, he is gone. And I love it. But he is gone. He is his own worst enemy. But he's so funny. He's so funny and he's so inventive. I loved that slime thing. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Bursting out of the briefcase.
He's one of the most passionate wrestlers. Seriously, his character is very strong.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He's got a lot of conviction, and he's doing stuff that's really off the cuff. He's a guy that you feel like you can't miss. Like, there are times in wrestling you watch it and you go like, all right, I'm going to go get a snack, or, you could just kind of check out. You can get on Twitter.
The popcorn.
Yeah, all these things. Dean, you can't do that. You're going to miss something. He's going to say something weird. He's going to say something funny. He had a lot of great lines. The one about so they sent the Cruiserweight division out after me?
Yeah.
About Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. Like, that stuff's great. He's really, with Roman Reigns gone, he's going to take that spot. He will take it, whether or not it's given to him. Like, he's just going to make the fans love him so they can't ignore it.
Man.
He's a lunatic.
He's the Joker. He's awesome.
Yeah, nobody doesn't love the Joker.
A Looney Tune.
I know. That's one of the reasons why Batman could never kill him.
Yeah, because he's like, wow, he's
the
fun.
Joker. Yeah.
And speaking of crazy, we get a Luke Harper promo on Raw. And then they recap it again here on Main Event. Luke Harper, with Bray talking and saying that he's letting Luke go. He's setting him free. And we're seeing these images back at the compound, which we had been wanting to see them go back to the compound. And now it looks like Luke may be a singles competitor. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but that seems what it's alluding to. So I don't know if they're necessarily breaking up. It seems like it's a blessing. And I love Luke Harper. Of the three guys, he's my favorite. He's...
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. His eyes, just watching his eyes and what he does in the ring, he's really incredible. He reminds me of a bit of a Mick Foley and some other guys all wrapped into one, and he's really captivating. As great as Dean Ambrose is, he is on a different level. He's
like a shark, you know, with that flat stare.
The doll's eyes.
He's just going to eat you. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I wonder what's going to happen to Rowan now, though. I mean, him and Harper were, you know, it was him, Harper, and Bray.
Yeah.
Then it was just him and Harper. And I don't know. He's just, without Harper, to me, he's just kind of another big wrestler, but doesn't have necessarily the same amount of moves that some of the other big wrestlers have, or at least his own standalone character.
He's got that gator roll. He leaps to the outside. He does drop kicks.
Yeah.
You know? He does a lot of crazy stuff for a big guy.
Well, I guess I just haven't seen a lot of him because, you know, he's been in the shadow of Bray and Harper, so...
Maybe that's the problem. So now he's out of that shadow.
Did anybody think that this promo was sort of ring-like?
Was sort of what?
The movie, The Ring.
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of that. Like, that's kind of how it started.
Very ring-like.
Yeah, they're pulling a lot from horror movies with these guys, like how they do the vignettes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's got a different vibe, which is great and creepy. And it really helps reset the character. That they've been gone from that compound for so long that when they bring it back to that, you're reminded of why you were so enamored by them in the first place.
I'm sorry, I think WWE has a goal mind here. I think if they were to create a movie, since they do a bunch of movie productions based off the Wyatts, a horror movie, it would be fabulous.
That would be awesome. You got my money.
Yeah, they've already got the characters established.
Exactly.
Put them in a house. You know,
or
put
that
them
compound.
in a trailer. Or the compound.
Trailer.
Exactly. We'll put them in a trailer.
Broken down trailer in the middle of a empty parking lot.
And then we have our favorite segment on Main Event, Go Behind with Renee. She's backstage with Mark Henry, and we're reminded of Mark Henry losing to Bo Dallas from Raw, and then him attacking Bo backstage, which somehow he caught up to him. I don't know how, because they move at different speeds.
Well, Bo stopped to Bo leave.
Sure,
and that takes some time.
It took a lot of time, I guess. And then Henry says he's had a bad couple of weeks, and he's had an emotional breakdown, but it's a new day, and he's going to throw him like a lawn dart, because that's what he does. So that sets us up for the match a little bit later on for our main event.
You know, for the first part of that, I really enjoyed it. Like the first part of Mark Henry's, it seemed very heartfelt. You know, it was very real. I was like, okay, this is a man going through some stuff. And then he went into Ego Town, where it's like, I'm going to throw him like a lawn dart. This is what I do. I'm like, man, just stay real. Just stay real. Go to that place inside of you. Wrestle from that place, not this bravado thing, because that's going to get somebody hurt.
Yeah, because he's a big dude and he doesn't do it lightly. So the next match we have is Layla and Summer Rae versus Brie Bella. This is continuing on with Nikki requesting that Brie be put in all these handicap matches, because that's what Nikki had to put up with while Brie had quit. So this is yet another handicap match, and Brie's been on a streak of winning all these. And Nikki is watching backstage with not a full dress, as it seems. So for all you young fellas out there, tune in the network and watch Main Event. And
young ladies, don't discriminate.
Sure, all right. Discovering yourselves out there. And we have, again, a short match. This one's even shorter. This one comes in at 4 minutes.
And we also have new music.
Yeah.
Oh, for Brie?
Brie got music. Our wish was granted.
Yeah, she has it out now.
I guess we haven't heard it on Main Event yet. That's been playing on Raw and stuff.
Oh, that's the one we should have started with.
But do you remember a few episodes ago we were saying how they need to give her music?
Yeah, what do you think of it?
WWE was listening to us.
Do you like it?
There we go.
No.
I don't really remember it.
Beginning.
I don't really remember it, but I know that it was new music.
Oh, I'm sure it might be coming in the next few moments. The new Brie Bella music.
Huh?
I don't like the first 3 seconds. After that, it's great. It's too slow, and then it pumps up.
Seems like a discotheque. I don't know, nightclub music.
Like
Discotheque?
Yeah, a discotheque. You go to discotheque,
Scott?
Yeah.
You want to dance?
I've been playing too much Grand Theft Auto 4 in my life, I guess.
Yeah, there
See, there we go.
I like like this part that goes into the next part, but that first
Yeah, that
little Brie, oh, it sounds so bad. I
Yeah,
want to like pull my ears out.
So, yeah, this is Brie's new music, which I guess fueled her up because she took these ladies out. Drop kicks were missed. Brie fights, gets hip tosses, body scissors, all kinds of stuff that happens. And
This is like Dance Dance Revolution, you know?
And Layla hits a bad crossbody, which Brie then hits the X Factor for a 1, 2, 3, and Brie Bella wins. I am. That's fine. Steve's got the late night, so he can play this music all he wants.
Left.
Notice as it dips down, because he's got South Park to watch.
Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah, the team of Layla and Summer Rae didn't do the job. Brie Bella comes out with the win. If you're watching on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and you can watch the girls dancing on there. While I am the one who's not acting like a jackass for a change. I'll go. I'll say this match, just nothing happened. There wasn't enough here. It was disappointing that they didn't do much, but Brie continues on with the win. The story continues, so I gave it 1 twin magic. How about you gals?
I like the entrances of Summer Rae and Layla. I thought it was cute and it matched their personalities. When Summer Rae did that balancing thing on the top rope. I thought it was a good move for them to keep on tag teaming back in, because if they had stayed too long, Brie was going to wipe the floor with them, which is what happened. It was a short match, and it was exactly what I expected to happen.
All right.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
Gabby?
It was interesting. I thought Summer Rae did some cheap, dirty tools where she distracted Brie with a little bit of a scream, and then Brie got, swiped by Layla. It was good, though, when Brie threw Summer over by using just her shoulder, showed her strength. And there was a kick to Summer Rae's, I don't know if it was Summer Rae or Layla, I can't remember, by Brie, their face. And it was like total Brie mode, and I think she yelled Brie mode when she did it. It's kind of fierce. And the move where Brie slid through the legs of Summer Rae and then pulled Summer Rae off the ring was really nice. That was probably my favorite move of the match. Very clever and not expected. So I gave it a 3.2.
Oh, all right. All right. And then we see the WWE makes an apology for the Russian flag incident with Big Show and Rusev, where Big Show had pulled the Russian flag down off the lights.
Big Show is causing trouble.
And causing an international incident. They seem to have trouble when they do stuff with flags. Jericho got in trouble years ago with a Brazilian flag.
What did he do with it?
He wadded it up when they were in Brazil, and I think he kicked it.
No.
I don't.
Don't do that.
I for one don't understand when it upsets people when a flag is brought down. Like, it's not being burned. It's not being,
Well, no, it's a sign of extreme disrespect. The flag's not supposed to touch the ground, anywhere. So to wad it up and try to kick it or to yank it down is extremely disrespectful.
I would think it's more disrespectful to say your country sucks and we're number one, which is what all the wrestlers say to Rusev on a weekly basis, rather than the flag. Like, that's what upset everybody? All right, well.
Crosses a line. It crosses a very real line.
I guess USA's are just a bunch of heels, huh? I guess we're a bunch of bad guys.
You thought we were the faces, Americans?
I thought we were, and on our end, but Russia sees it otherwise. So, I don't know. I think they had to know this was coming, that if they were going to pull down the flag, and they've had trouble with flags before.
Controversy. That's what they're about.
I guess so.
Just works for them.
I think Big Show should have just made it into a singlet and then just worn the Russian flag.
Oh, wow.
You want controversy. There you go.
Oh, that's too much.
That was a big enough flag to do it.
Like a diaper or something.
Oh,
no.
my goodness. That's the worst. That's even worse than what happened.
No.
And then we see Bo coming out to the ring. Bo Dallas has a microphone before the match, and he says his body is extremely sore, but not nearly as sore as the man he defeated, the sore loser of Mark Henry, and tells him he needs to get a hobby like a cooking class since he likes to eat. And then Bo Dallas tells Henry he only has to Bo leave. And we get even faster with our matches. We went from 9 minutes to 5 minutes to 4 minutes to our main event of the show, ending at 2 minutes from bell to bell. This didn't last long. This is like, this was shocking to say the least. That Mark went after Bo immediately and starts beating on him, brings him into the corner, stomps on him. The ref warns him that he needs to break it up, and Mark Henry doesn't, and that's the disqualification. Bo wins at 2 minutes, and Mark Henry shocked, to then which he takes Bo Dallas and gives him a World's Strongest Slam.
Yeah.
And that was the show. That was the main event of the show. I couldn't believe that.
Well, I guess from a psychological point of view, with Mark Henry, like he's cracking. He's almost completely snapped. So maybe they're going to go completely heel with him. Where like heel in the sense that, you know, bring back one of those straight jackets where he's half wearing it and kind of hitting himself in the head, but he's like a powerhouse. I want everybody to go crazy. I want everybody to go crazy. It's because it'd be a madhouse of fun.
He can join Dean in that straitjacket.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Dean could
They
fit
both
in there.
need it.
Man, how about Dean uses him as a powerhouse? Knock over everybody else while Dean just gets at Rollins.
Could you imagine Mark Henry had a straitjacket on and all of a sudden he just rips it off because he's so strong?
He would rip that right off and it would look fantastic. That would be such a dramatic
Right?
thing. Yeah.
That would have been a
Nothing can
great.
stop me.
That would have been a great main event for Raw, but that is not what happened. Instead, we just got some stomps in the corner, and that's how they ended the show. I thought it could have had a more climactic finish. There could have been something more devastating that Mark Henry was doing to get that disqualification. If he really is snapping, or if he is going to lose it at the end, the ref is there. Beat up the ref. Break the announce table. Like.
That's next.
Go crazy.
You gotta build up.
Reach under the
Yes,
ring
but-
and grab something. You know, something's there. You know, just having that in his hand, start swinging that around, hit a couple of the announcers.
Take a fan's hot dog, eat it, you know?
Do the Alicia
Yum.
Fox where she grabbed that Coke, was it a Coke can, and she like poured it over one of the bell ringers or something. Like she went crazy.
I just think, I know you talk about Gabby needs to build, but this is also the main event of the show. Like, it should give me a feeling of like, whoa, I can't miss next week, and not just because I'm doing an AfterBuzz show on it. It's something exciting and compelling. I gotta see what happens next. So give me a little something more, I say.
I say that it's building up for next week in the sense that he's just icing the cake and the surface, you know? There's going to be something greater and bigger to happen next because, like you're saying, Markeia, he's pretty much slowly cracking, right?
Yeah.
So I think his next match, if it's, you know, with Bo or who, he's going to freak. Like, something bigger and better is going to happen. It's going to make me want to tune into that.
Maybe on Big Show, his buffet buddy.
True.
Like he finally ends up snapping.
Yeah, he takes his tray and breaks it.
Oh.
So then Big Show can't carry that much.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No
like
longer
maybe
buffet buddies.
he wails on Big Show. Big Show tries to overpower him, but then he's got the power of crazy.
I mean, Bo Dallas's eyes were rolling towards the back of his head.
He was like,
Yeah.
you know?
Spasming.
Having seizures
Yeah.
and almost dying in the ring.
So maybe it was like a character thing for him also
Yeah.
because, you know, it's Bo Dallas and he's kind of a jerk, but he's a inspirational jerk, and he had lost and now he's winning again, but now he's like laid out. So how is this going to affect him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's 2 wins for Bo Dallas against Mark Henry.
Which is like an impossible matchup when
You
you
had
really
trouble.
think about
You
it.
had trouble a long time ago. I'll bring you a flashback. Remember when Dean Ambrose was fighting Mark Henry for the U.S. title,
right.
and you're like, I don't know if I'm buying this. This is Bo Dallas.
Like a little guy. Oh, man. Yeah, I obviously missed that first match. And then this one was more believable for me that Mark Henry would devastate him. I just wish he'd kept it within, you know, legal bounds. But that's not the storyline.
It's not the storyline. So, what would you give a star rating to this match?
I had to rate this one.
That is the law. The
I gave
law
it a
of main events.
1.5.
Oh.
Okay.
A what?
A 1.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
1.5. Gabby, what about you?
I gave it a 4.2.
Okay, wow.
And I'll give it a 4.2 because of character development.
All right. Yeah,
Even
no
though
lack
it
of
was
character
a-
development on the show.
That is very true. Very
It was
true.
a short-lived match, but hey, like, I want to see more still. I want to see next week them fighting again. I hope it builds to be even bigger and better. So that's why I gave it this rating.
Yeah, I love the character development. I love angry Mark Henry. I love him losing his temper. I want to see it. If it can play out in matches a little bit better, if Bo won't get in the ring and he's yelling at him and trying to get him out there, and maybe Mark Henry he loses by DQ because he's trying to go after him and Bo runs in the ring. Things like that.
Something like that.
Where it's just not a 2-minute, that was it. Like, it was just something cheap where I know Mark Henry's been there for over 10 years, and it's like, that's how he loses? Like, he's really that forgetful?
Yeah.
He didn't even get to that place, I felt. So I think more can happen on a future main event. So I gave it half a sandwich. But
Just enough to hit the spot, but
yeah, but not for Mark Henry.
no, not for Mark
him.
Henry.
Very unsatisfied.
An Olympic-sized sandwich.
But this was great. A great main event for character development.
Absolutely.
Tyson Kidd, Mark Henry, Kane being upset with reality stars, even Natalya.
Yeah.
Natalia's got a lot going on, so
Yeah,
that
there's
was
a different
really cool.
side to her now with this, like that personal relationship side.
And hopefully we're going to see some Luke Harper soon, and Jack Swagger and Cesaro. Maybe they'll keep doing that match because that was a great match.
I
More
hope
of that.
they do. That was fun.
And so, any final thoughts on the show this evening?
Well, like I said, more swagger, more Cesaro. Character development is awesome. Instead of having a little throwaway match at the end like they did with Mark Henry and Bo, have them backstage, Mark chasing them down, you know, stuff that they do at Ambrose and Rollins. Have them do that, because having them fight against each other, I can't buy it. It's just he's too small, and Mark Henry's a freaking mountain. You know, it's not going to happen. So go ahead and keep with character development. Keep it behind the scenes. Have it in the parking lot. That's what I want to see.
Gabby, final thoughts?
I predict a blowout between TJ and Natty. And I have a feeling that she may start to fight him one day in the ring
I would love that.
Wow.
because she's so pissed off and one day she just cracks.
Do you give her the edge in that fight?
I think she'll win. She'll
I
kick his
think
ass
so.
to prove something to all women.
She'll put him in the sharpshooter?
Yeah, he'll try to put her in the sharpshooter, and she knows it so well. She counters that right there.
That'd be cool. Make him tap in the
I like
middle of the
that.
ring.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps us up for main event this week. Gabby, where can everybody contact you?
Everyone can contact me at 555. No, I'm just kidding. At Gabby LO87 on Instagram, Gabrielle_Loren on Twitter, and check out my latest article on Red Carpet 101 on Taryn Manning if you like Orange is the New Black.
Oh, and Markeia, where can they get a hold of you?
Yes, you guys can get a hold of me on Twitter at Markeia McCarty, MarkeiaMcCarty. I'm also on Instagram under the same name. And if you enjoy live comedy, this Saturday at iOS in Hollywood, my team, Doctor Who Live, that does an improvised episode of Doctor Who, will be performing at 11.
Very cool.
Oh, I'm sorry, next Saturday, not this Saturday.
Don't show up.
Mark your calendars.
Saturday.
You can find me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. And I'll be invading AfterBuzz all week. I was here on Monday on Raw, and I'm here now, and then I'll be here again on SmackDown. So we'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.